And hello there, everyone. Osage Orange here, and welcome to another episode of Titan Quest: The Loot Grind. We are here on episode number 193 of this series. Do appreciate everybody who has come out. I hope that your guys' time zone, whatever your guys' time zone is most wunderbar. So on the agenda for today, we of course will be getting back into the grind. Didn't of course have an episode last Sunday because last Monday had to report for jury duty. Thank goodness I was not selected for the case, so that is of course a wunderbar thing. But I have gotten all our stuff transferred over. Most of the stuff did get sorted into the system. Got like these wraps of regen, was like one or two other things here in the drop stuff that I'm wondering why that does that. One of those little, I think that's probably a glitch. Not sure. I need to check to see if there's been an update. I don't think there's been any. There hasn't been any major for quite some time there. I don't think they've. THQ Nordic has dropped any major TQ updates. I know they've been most stuff's been focused on TQ2, so that also might just be stuff for these guys. But yeah, we got some stuff here sorted. All this right over here is overflow. Check these guys. These were the slightly more sucky stuff. But yeah, most of the stuff got sorted into either, physical collection alpha, a couple of things. I had a Kale's Vestige go here and one or two other things for collection beta. Physical set stuff and magical stuff. But that's, just got that stuff done. So let's go ahead here. We're going to relaunch TQ and do our stuff here. Okay. There we go. Uh-oh. I just heard a Whitecat meowing. Just a second. I'm going to go let him in. Just a second. Once again, the fiendish feline decides it's okay to come bother Tree when he's busy trying to do stuff. So we're going to go ahead here. We're going to transfer over to Immortal Throne. I honestly do need to get I was going to say context first. I've got vacation approved. But we'll probably do some pickup. Maybe there might be something to do next week. Yes, I know you're there, my cat. Let's see here. I don't know why that's glitched out the way it is, but anywhoozle, we last episode we did what we did. I don't remember all of it because, like I said, stuff, but context, I will be, stupid Karkinos. Stupid thing. Completely forgot to go back and let's go back here to Rhodes. Yes, I know you're there, Whitecat. Silly feline.
A fine day to ease your burden.
Yeah, we'll have to put a bunch of this stuff back into the system once we get Ishtar promoted.
Caravan.
and get her stuff done. So hopefully this week we will be able, this upcoming week, we'll be able to get more done on Let's Play Valkyria Chronicles. We've definitely entered the end game. And then next week we will, the week after, so 1 week from tomorrow, Monday, we'll be heading to back to Ishtar. Stupid fire lich. Yeah, we'll see how much of electrum have I got? 74, 6. Yeah, 632 is not bad. We did do a little bit of stuff for last bit, as I very vaguely remember. Said it's yes. Excuse me, but felt good. I'm gonna go ahead and face off against the gray ones again. You know, like I said, I've been thinking, White Cat obviously can't make up his mind. Just a second. White Cat wants out. You butt. Tell you guys, White Cat just is roommates. I had to go run errands and had to meet up with Tree Family for a little dinner tonight, and or earlier tonight, and tell you, roommates, they said, you know, he was White Cat was yowling for you, Tree, and I was like, is that typical? Whenever I'm gone, he's wow. Quickly go ahead here. We'll decurse ourselves before we go face off against the Grey Sisters. I really like how they included the Temple of Heaven's Pact as the temple we see in the original game's opening cinematic. I'll get the eye, all right, dame. Cackle all you want, old hag. Oh, I was hoping I'd be able to run away. But of course they got me just in the nick of time. With a, I remember, that, Medea saying, you know, their rage is only, their jealous, whatever it is, the line she says, you know, their jealousy is only matched by their rage. You soon feel both, whatever the line is. Of course I'm a hero. It's right there at full strength again! Oh, don't do that, tree. Don't be a dum-dum. You see me not. I cannot let you in right now, White Cat. I'm busy. Oh. Ugh. See, you distracted me. Stupid attention needer. Stupid frickin' feline. Didn't need to do that. Still need to. Roommates and I still need to make arrangements to get a portal for him, so I don't have to worry about doing that sort of thing. The thing of it is, can you teach an old cat new tricks? Okay, let's go. This is twice that the Grey Sisters have mopped the floor with us. Not so tasty as you think I'll be. Stupid Enyo. That is, of course, part of the challenge is the confined space of this battlefield. Finally, you'll get your butts defeated. How about beautiful and dead? Oh. There we go. One down. You see your death. Two down, one to go, and she's not. Playing the inevitable old hag. There we go. Loot time. Lethal Ripper of what? Trickery. Oh. Not bad. Too bad. Not too bad. Don't think it's really worth keeping, quite honestly. Alright, let's quickly, we will portal back to Helos. Come on. Next place we will bounce to will be the River Styx, so that we can go face Charon. We, of course, in the interim, we'll recurse ourselves. Makes me kind of think back to Achievement Hunter's second Galacticraft season, where it was episodes 8 and 9, where Jeremy and Michael were cursed because each had gotten themselves a soul bead. Come on. There we go. And that, of course, led to drama. Hello, Impuses. I'm definitely kind of thinking that I want to get take someone of a Greek slant Roman theme from my next MC World, but that's Future Tree's project. kind of tough. I was thinking that one of these guys must be equipped with something decent in terms of their weapons, and that's why I thought I was getting hammered so. Part of the reason why I was getting hammered so hard. Yeah, I do have plans for mid-May. We've gotten off on a deep tangent here with other stuff, trying to get stuff done. But anyway, mid-May I will have vacation. Should be about the time we wrap up with 4 weeks of TQ. Stuff is let me double check here while I'm thinking about it. Well, let's see. Today is 6th. So 1, 2. Let's see. Starting Monday the 14th, we'll have a full month of that, so that'll be 4 weeks. So the 14th. Let's see, 14th, 21st, 28th. 5th. Yeah, that's right on schedule. Right on schedule. So, the time of vacation, and of course as we get closer, I will make sure to discuss this in a little bit more detail. But, the week starting Sunday, May 11th through Sunday the 18th, I will be on vacation. And like last June, I will be going to Colorado. Hopefully to meet Heiss this time go around, because I chose that particular week because excuse me, but I felt good. Because Saturday the 17th the weekend of Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 18th will be Colorado crossings at the Colorado Railroad Museum. Oh. And I, of course, aim to meet Heiss. Unfortunately, I did not get to meet him last year. But the, ooh, hello! Hello. Gonna have to get some vengeance here. But due to circumstances beyond my control, I did not get to meet Heiss last year. Only got to meet Goose, Dusty, and of course Brett. Dusty was actually recently featured on the most, which I think episode 5 of season 5 has been released to the public. I think, but I do know that it's, the way he does, Heiss does, channel membership sorts of things, so that way, it's sort of, one of these, pay to get to see stuff sort of things. And I've seen a couple of those sorts of videos. Take that, Jerky McJerkface! Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Ooh, I might hold on to that thing for, its future use. But, yeah, I still remember. I know I've told the story. It seems like a million bazillion times, but at least for me, it's always worth retelling. The Saturday before Father's Day last June, I got to the museum, and Just, you know, been poked around the museum a little bit. Went to the roundhouse. Met one of the volunteers there at the roundhouse. He helped me with the turntable. You know, I got to push the turntable and quickly go back to Helos again. We're gonna decurse ourselves. Push the turntable was on the lead to stall 2 at the turntable end. You know, where the track for stall 2 meets the turntable. Just had been quickly looking around, had been talking to the volunteer who was going back to his canopy, which was nearby, and turn and face towards stall 1. There's Brett, the tall one. Brain instantly goes, "Oh my god, it's a quarter-headed idiot! Hi, Brett!" And of course, he obviously heard the hail, and he said, "Hi!" It's one of these moments where, you know, you've never met somebody in person, but you know, in a case, you know, with it being an active rail facility, you know, I didn't want to just, you know, go rushing over to say hi. I mean, eventually did get to say hi. That was later, but, you know, I got to say, you know, I said hi, and that's one of my fondest memories is
Stay back or be destroyed.
seeing him as, oh my god, it's a quarter of an idiot. Come on over, Chiron. There you go, boy. Oh, he smashed me. How rude! Oh yeah, that's... Ooh, hello. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's one of my fondest memories. Of course, later when I actually got to talk to him, you know, I said, "Hey, Brett, just out of curiosity, our marker, Layton, going to be here today?" And he said, "Unfortunately, Layton's just got back from his honeymoon, and Mark's busy doing one of his." Oh, hello. I'm going to quickly portal back to the portal here. I mean, the rebirth fountain. I don't know why it's not letting me come through. I may have found a glitch. Of course, they're probably going to... THQ Nordic is probably just going to... If they are still... we have a glitch. Let's see here. Just a sec, guys. Just a sec. I am going to throw out the break screen. I'm trying to remember... let's see here. I'm trying to remember how to... I don't remember the shortcut. Let's see. Steam... Cap... F12. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not one to it's not wanting to let me through. Yeah, it's not wanting to let me through. I'll have to report that bug. And of course, we've lost whatever. Come on. Okay. Why am I having network problems? That was unexpected. That's why I got it. Just a sec, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So basically, roommates, they also do gaming and that sort of thing. And basically, they are having their whatever reason their Steam Cloud stuff for both of their systems are deciding to fiddle with the network. And even though, like I said, one of them is a techie. There we go. We got on the network, the way we got it set up, it's we got some stuff that is fidgety. So when we're all trying to do each our own separate little things, it's sort of the same sort of thing when I've been at Tree Dad's place. When he and me have done stuff over there, it's sometimes the network gets a little fidgety. Oh hell! Whoa! 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 Hello! Hello! Panic! Go away, I'm not ready yet. Go away, Joker, I'm not ready for you yet. I guess I don't have to really worry. If it's network issues, that would be a thing, it's a lot hard, if you're not, unless you start Steam off, in offline mode, it's not going to be quite so much an issue. Try to get some of these guys, these minion guys here. Oh. Okay. Probably if it was a network issue, that would probably be why they was having that issue. At least I took out that one guy right there. And I try not to talk about my roommates, mostly because out of deference to their anonymity. There we go. Just try to... Ooh, hello. Ooh, I'm going to hold on to those. That's worth holding on to. Let's see here. Oh yeah, just try to... out of respect for them, I try not to discuss... Let's go ahead here. Let's head back. Let's head over... to the east, and you know, like I said, me and roommates play some of the some similar games. They also like some of the they also like some real-time strategy, you know, like Age of Mythology and that sort of thing.
Trust me.
And RTS stuff like this, but they tend to a little bit.
Sounded suspicious, didn't it?
They tend a little bit more to the shoot 'em up sorts of things, as well as a couple of things. But they also do stuff, you know, like a little bit of Minecraft here and there. Let's see. Hold on to that.
Safe roads, my friend.
Do you need something? I don't have all day.
They also do, like I said, they tend
Is
to
that all? Good.
more
my
action-themed
friend.
games
You look
rather
weird.
than necessarily
Can I take
say
a
shoot 'em
bird
up,
in
shoot 'em
from
up,
your
bang, bang,
shoulders?
bang sorts of games.
May your path always be
The
even.
best scrolls and potions and so on and so forth. You know how it goes.
There we go.
Is that all? Good.
Yeah, it's they prefer more action adventure sorts of games that are a little bit more actiony and adventure than this sort of stuff right here. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to discuss them too much. Out of respect for their own anonymity, they understand that I'm a content creator, and that I need my time. They can't, you know, they know that. I know that there are times where they have to talk. But, all that, so. It's probably, like I said, those technical, I might go ahead and report that anyway. Say, hey, game was,
Stay back or be destroyed.
come forth, Chiron. Come on, you butt. Crystal Embracers! Hello. Hello there. Let's quickly head back to Helos. We'll recurse ourselves. Nope. I know we won't get any Electrum from him, but... Now, like I said, I'm so glad I finally made the jump to the vault instead of having so many bloody loot characters. It's just becoming so impractical. I mean, it would start becoming so unwieldy. It's so much easier with the vaults to be able to do stuff. Let's see here. Come on. Let's see here. Let's go ahead here and see where we might be able to move on for our next big thing. Next biggest thing. It's Tower of Judgment with Cerberus. After that is going into Hades Palace. So we'd have to go from Elysium, go into Hades Palace to be able to get Typhon before we go face off against Hades himself. Of course, we could also double back to Olympus and do Typhon again. Now let's do that. Let's work our way up Olympus to OG Typhon, or in this case, original game Typhon. Ourselves some Electrum along the way. 456. How ironic is it that they beat the poop out of me? Not really. Not really. Let's go here. Let's get some more Electrum and let's go face off against OG Typhon. You're not much of an assassin if I can beat the bonins out of ya. Stupid Limoses. At least we're getting higher quality stuff there from... Oh, hello. Give me that demon's blood, presumably... Yeah, demon's blood. So I said presumably demon's blood. Ooh. Nah. No, I'm not gonna worry about that, Stave. Yes. Sounds like I got about two. Yeah, two. Giant roars will not stop me. Ooh, Dragon Mace of the Siren. Not bad. Could be a heck of a lot better, but still not bad. Laugh all you want, Typhon. You jerk. Drop. Guile. Let's go ahead here. We will... Yes. Go back again to Helos. We will de-curse ourselves. And go on. And I've said this before. I've always... Part of me has always felt that Immortal Throne really added a lot. And that... obviously any game's going to have its shortcomings. And obviously, Titan Quest has its own shortcomings, as does its various expansions and all that. But what has, like I said, for a long time after I played Gold Edition, it just kind of really fell apart for me. Once I'd gotten Gold Edition, was playing Immortal Throne, just kept dying on epic level, and that's why I really didn't start getting really the fancy stuff. And like I said, I know this is a well-worn rut. Bought the Steam version, that way I had it. Then, of course, Anniversary Edition came out back in 16. Ragnarok dropped not long after, and, that's why I figured, get Ragnarok. Excuse me, and do that, and all that. So long as you have fun, and that's why I keep producing content with this game, is that it is fun. It is fun to do. So Typhon. You shall not hinder me, Mr. Bane of the Gods! So technically it was a monster, but... There we go. Gonna go and mute that so you guys don't have to worry about. Ooh, gotta. Yes. All right. But yeah, I know it's a well-worn story and all that, but, so long as you have fun. And that is part of the reason why I do loot grind, is, you know, you can find that stuff that we don't have. Again, another well-worn rut, but one I'd rather say is, I'd rather would, let's see here.
Store your goods or ship them off.
Not sure if I have the ore or not. Block doing stowage. Just seeing if there's anything. Oh, it's not bad.
Hera smile on you.
Let's go ahead here. We'll head back to Helos for a moment. What time is that? This is, still got a few minutes before we gotta go take a break. I know that, as I've said before, I know that Ragnarok, in the base game, for an Anniversary Edition, which is, of course, the updated version of Gold Edition, which combines, of course, Immortal Throne, original TQ, and Immortal Throne, has gotten very high reviews, and as is Ragnarok, whereas both Atlantis and, to a degree, Eternal Embers are more meh. And I definitely can see that more in the. I definitely see that in Atlantis. I haven't played, of course, haven't played enough
Do you need something?
enough of Ragnarok to be able. I mean, Eternal Embers to see that versus, say, Atlantis. Ooh, that one's not, bad that. Let's see if, ooh, yes, buy that. Definitely gotta get that. Has the dexterity? Yes. Not bad on the defensive ability there. Nice in its own way. Damage and attack speed. Let's see here. Not sure about that one and all that.
My pleasure. Do come back. Blah, blah, blah.
Trust me, your belongings are safe with me. Well, that sounded suspicious, didn't it? Safe roads, my friend.
Alright, so. Hello over there, White Cat. Let's see. Hades, let's go here to the Tower of Judgment, because of course we've gotten done with the talking hi to OG Typhon. Just a second. White Cat wants out. Of course, the Fiendish Feline couldn't wait a few more minutes for me to be able to be done with stuff. But of course, a cat is a cat is a cat. Anybody who has cats as their pets will undoubtedly know that, hey, stuff is stuff is stuff. We'll go ahead here. Let's enter. Let's awkwardly done right there, right here. Just notice that. Tower of Judgment. So, let's see here. Let me get my headphones quickly back on before I forget. And we will... start working our way toward the thing. We're just gonna really start hoarding points here, Electrum points. Mostly because, of course, we need the opportunity to get some of the higher tier stuff. The third domain. How did I not explore this area originally? Must have had a reason. Not bad. Here I was thinking that that was me getting revenge, getting those guys creamed. Alright, quickly taking a look here at the time. Let's go ahead and take a break. I, for one, need to use the little trees room. So, yeah, guys, go in. Everybody stand up, stretch, get something to eat, get something to drink, use the restroom. I'll see you all here in a few minutes. Okay, guys, Tree is back. Oh! I was just taking a look-see over at my Kutzkazat calendar. Haven't really done this in a while. But, they of course do their annual human era calendar, adding 10,000 years to the CE calendar. So we're in the year 12,025, of course, of the human era. And for the month of April, they have a depiction of a group of human migrants enduring a blizzard while climbing in the mountains. And here is the description. High in the sky, approximately 85,000 years ago, Central Asia. Homo sapiens progressed further east. Soon they were facing the imposing Iranian plateau and the towering Himalayas that were standing in their way. Our ancient ancestors would have tried to skirt these obstacles as best they could to enter Asia. The ones who tried to brave them would most likely have found them too great a challenge. But even if not all such quests succeeded, eventually humans would also call mountains their home, as findings over 2,000 meters above sea level suggest. So, yeah, like I said, I love watching Kutzkazat, being one interested in science and all that. So I was thinking, as I was closing my door and looked at my calendar hanging off the back of my door here, thinking, yes, need to discuss the calendar. So, come on. Stupid little. There we go. Sorry, I took a moment there to get the hook there. It was having its moment of, I don't wanna! Sort of thing, you know? Silly hook. Cracking open here a new bit of Go Juice. But yes, it is time for us to go, of course, go and patrol on. Come on. Adjusting my headset volume there. Oh, excuse me, but it felt good. Gosh darn, I was hoping I'd be able to smack at least one of those guys down. Oh, we're almost 100k for Electrum. So we get, of course, we get the most advantageous amount of gold out of stuff we do, for example, from, like OG Greece, OG Egypt. Because of course, Sword Veil Divination. Ooh. It's pretty nice. The armor and the intelligence and the energy, percentage energy regen, energy, and intel. It's pretty interesting. One of our boys. over 100k. Hooray! Now the multi-electrum coin question is, can I hold that for long enough? I know I don't have to go defeat every single baddie, but it's, you know, every baddie helps. Let's see. 36, 32, 96. I couldn't remember how much it was for this particular campaign. You know, for at least a base enemy. Obviously, with this Kaloth right here, we're going to get more. Oh, I was hoping I'd be able to avoid that, but... You know, that's one of the better things about the Atlantis campaign, at least in my opinion. That's probably the best feature that they added to Atlantis was the gold transmuter. That's easily the best. You know, it's, you know, you can now just you know, you can grind for literally hours. I mean, you have this obnoxiously low chance of getting good stuff. Okay. 270. I mean, oh wait, what did I got? 008. Come on. Come on. Jeez Louise, Whitecat. 296. Just a second. He wants out. So off that one guy, we got 288 because, hi White Cat! Because we're at 296 and we had 8, so that's 288. So that is, of course, a very wunderbar thing. Hi White Cat! Just a second, he wants to be under blanket, kitty. So yeah, that's you know, all the, you know, that's why, you know, like I said, it's every enemy. You know, I don't try to always go hunt out every enemy, but that's a good reason. 288 points, at least on this level of campaign. That's pretty nice. I mean, any amount of Electrum is good, at least in my book. And of course, you know, that was one of the things that they added later after they, THQ Nordic added later is, the Electrum. And, you know, the second domain. You know, they added the, you know, the dungeon, the Chaos Dungeons, the, Electrum, they added the gold transmuter, you know. Obviously, they rigged it just like a real lottery to, you know, to be to the point where, you know, it's this very insanely low chance. You know, it's for any lottery, at least in my experience. The chance of breaking even, you know, I've played the lottery and, you know, saving up for my trip, of course, you know, that's a good reason not to play the lottery, saving up that money is because you're not guaranteed any chance of earning anything back. The chances of even breaking even are unlikely. The chances of even breaking even are unlikely. And I know that all depends on the specific situation, but at least to my understanding, it's here in a fair number of states, at least in my state, you know, the gambling revenues help you know, pay for like education and all that. You know, they augment, you know, taxation and all that. I'm going to try to, of course, avoid the politics because, you know, that's not what we're here for. We're here to play video games. We're here to play video. Stupid Malones, those you female jerks who follow Hades. We're going to smite the heck out of you. I'm going to smite the heck out of you and then take the treasure. Take our treasure. Come here, ladies! At least we got a few of them beaten. If the lottery actually won, you know, we'd all be a lot more people would be millionaires. I wish I could be a millionaire so that I would have more than sufficient time to be able to do more content creation. Come here, Blood Acolyte. You're going to be a blood dead. Said I am not financially secure enough to be able to go content creating full time. You know, there are a fair number of folks who, you know, they have they're able to succeed because they put in the effort. And you guys help. You guys help. Because, of course, you know, Titan Quest has been one of my more popular games. Jeez Louise. Games that I've played on both Twitch and especially YouTube. That is why I do the loot grind. I mean, part of me you know, would be rather doing Minecraft stuff right now. But no. You gotta play your strengths. And Titan Quest is one of those things. It, you know, it has the mythological component, it has the RTS component. The RTS mythology and all the other stuff, and it is part of the reason why I do the loot grind. Not only does it help get me the views and all that, we're getting the loot. That is why I made sure that, you know, when I started this, when I realized that, hey, Tree, you know, Titan Quest is getting you a lot of views and watch time. Why not use that to your advantage? And so, I am. I'm doing this for you guys. I do kind of miss not being able to do, like I did in the when we first started this series, being able to do, a part 1 and a part 2. But of course, I have reasons for that. Working full time, I need the money. At least I got rid of that jerkhead. Like I said, I have a far greater chance of being able to get overtime than I do winning the lottery. Or having a big truck that causes overtime than I do winning the lottery. Like I said, even if I won $1 million, say tomorrow, Monday, I would probably work for a while still at work. I would probably still work for a while. Mostly because, to make sure that I got myself, if I got, like I said, if I got that hypothetical $1 million, let's just say I played Lottery XYZ, got $1 million. Okay? That's our particular scenario. I paid, let's just say $10. $10, got $1 million. After taxes, I get $1 million. Let's just say the pot is, yeah. Well, at least I took care of that Malone. Let's just say, pot is $2 million. I get half of it, after taxes. So that's $1 million. I would invest that money. I would take that money and invest the heck out of it. Bear in mind, as I've said before, in these investation matters, I am no financial expert. Oh, geez, she's really beating the poop out of me. Let's quickly head back to Helos. Let's work smarter, not harder. Helos. Bear in mind, as I've said, I am no financial expert. I try to do as much research on a company as I can. But I would find let's do that. I would rather lose the not gain the Electrum and be able to far better survive. How about that? But anyway, I would. There are, like I said, I use Vanguard as my current provider for trading and all that. They're my broker. And basically, I would try to find, there are several things that are on my watch list in some capacity that are either I own or are on my watch list. That are that are monthly paying investments. Like I said, I am no financial expert. But currently, the one that I do have that is a monthly paying investment is Stag Industrial. Basically, they own warehousing properties. And like I said, I've done my research on them. And And I'll take a look every now and then. I'll take a look at their books and all that, their quarterly statements, and for pretty much the most part, it's like they've got a pretty solid business. Obviously, they're not perfect. No one's going to be no person, no company, no group is going to be absolutely perfect. But they meet my needs in terms of being a fairly reliable company, even in these economically turbulent times. They are going to face some challenges, as we all will. But based on what I have read, and bear in mind, I very much have a layman's understanding of their operations. From what I have seen, it's like they're making some pretty sound decisions. There's some of them that, it's like, wish that could have been better, or, oh, that's a pretty good job, sort of thing. But, from what I've seen, the management at, ooh, hello. The management at Stag seems pretty competent. There's some things, part of me wishes, hey, I wish that could have been better, or whatever. Good. Good. But, Stag Industrial is an example of what is called a REIT, a Real Estate Investment Trust, REIT. I'm not sure what it is under other jurisdictions, but at least here in the U.S., a REIT has to pay out 90% of its profits to its shareholders. So, of course, profit is income minus expenses. So that would be, income would be, for example, rent from clients, sale of properties, investments, other income, interest income, etc. Expenses would be paying for properties, paying for wages, paying utilities, paying for services, etc., etc., etc. The difference between income and expenses is either profit or deficit. Profit, of course, being having more income than expenses. Deficit being have more expenses than income. And so, most REITs, not all, but at least a number of the ones that I've looked at, a fair number of REITs are monthly distributions, meaning that they will pay per share X amount of dividend. Okay? So, for example, Stag offers 12.4167 cents per share per month. So, meaning every month, if you have, for example, one share, you will get 12.4167 cents. And if you, of course, if you have two, that's double that. 3 shares is 3 times the 1 share, 4, on and on and on. Like I said, I am no financial expert. Try and do your research. And I have done, I did some research into them a long time ago. My initial research into them was a long time ago. And what appealed to me about Stag Industrial is that no matter whether it is, at least here in the States, no matter whether product is produced, stored, or sold locally or sourced from international sources, it's going to have to be stored somewhere, going from point A to point B to point C to whatever. Going from its initial source It's going to have its momentary home wherever it is on their property, going to its next destination, whether it be, another, if it's, a transition property like a warehouse for, like, say, Home Depot. If it's going, a distribution warehouse, it's collecting up for a group of stores in a particular region and then getting distributed out to those stores, so that that product can be sold. It's a case of, products got to be sold. And I was like, that's, that appealed to me. And it still appeals to me. Let's see. Oh, hello. Let's see what these guys got. Don't you jerk! You jerks! You jerks! So yeah, it's, products gotta go from one location to another. And, having the warehousing capability, there are a number of different warehouses, there's, obviously, Home Depot, you got stuff for Walmart, Amazon. Oh, hello. Hello there. Come here. There we go. Thank you. Oh, hello. Even more. Hello. Hello there. Hello. Please die. I don't have to. Thank you. Don't have to rebattle stuff again just to be able to get one little thing. Not going to worry about those dames. My real targets lie over here. Come on. I'm not the... Gosh darn it. It makes me think back to, well, at least I got some of them down. It would have been nice if one of them keeled over right then. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. So anyway. Goods, of course, need to be transported and stored in a warehouse till, they can get to their next destination. And so that is, I would invest some money. Like I said, I would invest at least in part in this. We've gotten on a big tangent right here. I would take some of that $1 million, this hypothetical $1 million, and invest it in Stag because, of course, it's, money that I could, be able to redirect to investing in other investments. Master Archer is now Master Dead. This Master Archer also needs to be... There we go. And so I would use, if I got myself up to, say... let's just say I managed to get myself to $100 a month with Stag. Don't you guys try this on me. You jerks. Don't be jerks. I was hoping one of those guys would die as they stormed off, but obviously it doesn't look like that happened. But, yes, if I manage to get myself, for example, let's be very, very, I'm going to be very generous to myself. Let's just say that I managed to get myself through investing a significant portion of this hypothetical $1 million. Let's say $500 a month, okay? Let's just say $500 a month. Hypothetical. I would then use that to help me buy some more of my other investments. And like I said, as I've said already, multiple times, I am no financial expert. Take care of these guys. There we go. Get more of them dead. Come here, Archer guy. Thank you. I would then go, what I'm really wanting to do, one of the things that I'm really wanting to do with my investments is go into ETFs. exchange traded funds. So it's for context, there's a thing called mutual funds, which is basically a basket of funds. Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, IBM, International Business Machines. It can depend on the specifics of the basket. But basically, they will usually either at least annually, and depending on the basket, even quarterly, will dispense dividends to their investors. So if I had mutual fund ABC, okay, and that is whatever, okay, ow, my desk there, ow, my limb, oh, my limb, mutual fund ABC, and it has, let's just say it's a broad market mutual fund, pays out quarterly, at the end of each quarter, so that would be, the end of March, end of June, end of September, end of December, approximal, let's say the 28th of each month is the approximation date. It's, obviously there are times where the 31st or the 30th of each month will fall on a weekend. So, that's why I say proximal 28th. They pay out their dividends on the Friday or Monday closest to the end of the month. Okay? Hypothetical scenario. And, they will get all the dividends in from their dividend paying shares, or if they sell stock, they will include that in the dividend. It all depends on the particulars of the fund, the mutual fund. They will pay out the dividend at the end of the quarter, proximal to the Friday or Monday, depending on the particular quarter. Okay? I receive that in the form of a dividend. So let's just say I have 5 shares in this, and generally for each quarter I might receive, say, 58 cents, for example. Those 5 shares, 58 cents, that's just over $2.50. So, that's a fair, nice chunk of change. That, of course, is a little bit of analogy. An ETF, in a sense, functions like a mutual fund in the fact that it can be a basket of funds. So, for example, again, ETF ABC can be, Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Union Pacific, it can be whatever it is. And compared to a mutual fund, which typically will execute a trade order at the end of the business day. So whatever the mutual fund price is at the end of the day, if I were to say for a mutual fund ABC, execute an order of 2 shares, and Vanguard executes it, and let's just say, because it's got a lot of big and medium cap stocks in it, let's just say it executes for $250. Means I execute those 2 shares for $250, I'll have to pay $500. With an ETF, for example, what I'll be able to do is, let's just say that instead of paying $250 at the end of the day, I might be able to get, because it's a little more fluid, like a stock, i.e. Johnson & Johnson, I might be able to get it for, say, $240 for a midday trade. And so that's obviously $20, 2 times 240 is going to be that $20 less versus the mutual fund. It might still pay the same rate, i.e. $2.58 per share for the dividend at the end of the quarter, but it's a little more fluid in terms of the price. Like I said, bear in mind, I am no financial expert. Do not look to me for financial advice. Always do your research. Look into a company and say, does this company A have a good business model? Is it sustainable? Does it meet your personal requirements for whatever you want the company to be? You know, do your research. Do your research. So, just a sec, guys. I gotta quickly go use the little trees room again, so I will BRB. Sorry about that, guys. I really had to go. But yeah, as I've said, I am no financial expert. Always take a look. Always do your research into a company before investing, and invest if you feel that. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Why did I do that? Silly tree. Hitting the wrong button. Always try to invest in quality companies. So, for example, obviously me, I've invested in Johnson & Johnson. I've mentioned them as the, hello. I've mentioned them as being, as an example, and they've obviously, there's, any company is going to have some troubles and all that sort of stuff. Let's see here. It's not bad. Honestly, I wish there could be, for this particular Thundering Ripper, I wish that could be a little bit more to it. But, I'm not going to argue with the way the game decides to do its stuff. But anyway, obviously every company, is going to have its challenges, but, so long as they have they provide a service and there is a demand for that service. Hello? Don't you try this on me, son! Don't you try this on me! I love it seeing, when I can bash, here or anywhere, when I can see an enemy go off a cliff. That's always wunderbar. But, anywho, any company is going to face challenges, and Johnson & Johnson is an example of, they're facing some challenges right now in many ways. Come on, boys. Come on. Just wish I'd been able to get closer to that sentinel there. But what happened, happened. So anyway, you know, Johnson & Johnson, they have faced a number of challenges over the years, as does any company. And so long as there's good leadership, you know, I could probably find stuff to nitpick about, but, you know, I'd have to go look to see what's there to nitpick about before I could go into the specifics thereof. But, yes, I would, you know, I feel that Johnson & Johnson's overall is a good company. Yes, they're not perfect. No person or company will ever be perfect. Of course, you know, perfect is subjective. Come here, Archer dude. You know what one person would define as perfect, another person might defer as I don't know why I said defer. They would call not so perfect. There we go. Well, of course, Johnson & Johnson is a big supplier of stuff in the medical field. And, of course, medicine is, of course, a really big deal. And even for us trees, we need our own help to make sure that we keep ourselves healthy. You know, I go to the gym after work. Yes, I work a very physically demanding job, but I'd rather, jerks, be nice. I'd rather go to the gym after work, and yes, it is more physically demanding activity in its own way, but I would rather have the chance to use physical activity as the means to calm down. It's much like in the CGP Grey film Spaceship U, where he talks about you know, dealing. Of course, it was presented during the pandemic. Of you know, dealing with physical and mental stuff in a time of trials. The first domain of the Rona pandemic. That you know, things happen, and one of the things that he says, you know, it's always a lot more difficult to bring one's psychological needs back to a base level. So prime with the physical. That is one of the things he said, is prime with the physical. And having, for example, a gym membership has actually helped me, because there have been days where things have been stressful. And, you know, I've had to work, you know, I'm feeling completely pooped. And, you know, I just, you know, just want to, you know, part of me has always wanted to, you know, in the case of these days, wanted to, you know, go bash the poop out of something. But going to the gym after work, hello Demon's Blood, going to the gym after work and, you know, doing, you know, limb reps or root stretches or resistor training for my roots, trunk exercises, that has helped. You know, as he says, you know, the physical activity helps the mental return to baseline. And in this case, doing physical activity without the additional mental stress of work helps brings my canopy functionality back to a better baseline. because I am able to, for example, divert that energy, that anger, into something more productive. Because, I am busy, if I'm doing, a root resistance training, insert particular training, I do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm literally counting out the particular repetition of the exercise. And in this case, for example, for the root stretch or the root resistance training, that way, you build up the root muscles. Yes, even roots have muscles. I am able to calm myself mentally by doing that particular exercise. If I'm aiming to increase the ability of my roots, for example, to be able to do what I need them to do to help me do my job. That's another reason why I go to the gym after work, is that it helps me out do... Oh, hello, you've got a flame lord right here. Bye-bye, son. Is that I am able to get in that root buildup to help me do my stuff. It is able to benefit me, and I would rather have that benefit. It also gives me, of course, time to read. Because, having that time to, read a book, it's like, in a number of ways, I wish I could have more time to read. So, getting that ability to, read about whatever. Come here, Archer Dude, Master Archer Dude. There you go. Ooh, hello. Oh, 130k. Ooh, we're getting up there. Let's get the fountain going there. You guys will not be able to defeat me so easily. I'm here now. Didn't I just see you? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Go bye-bye, sons. We'll go a little bit long here, comparatively speaking. After all, we've been having to deal with a lot of baddies and discussing stuff. Come on over, boys. Come on. Come on. Play nice. Play nice. Another one of the guys falls over the edge. Hooray! Yes, I know I'm being too easily amused. Ooh. Let's take a look see at that bow. I wish it could be just a little bit better for being called a blazing Stygian bow. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Just quickly checking our stuff there. Yeah, I want to face Cerberus, so... Before we end this episode, we'll probably for next episode or the next episode when we pick up emotes up here, I'm thinking that for next episode we're going to don't you down me yet, son. I'm thinking we'll probably go over to Lord and Lady Grind for a little while. At least for next episode, so as that we can have some fun getting... We haven't done Lord and Lady Grind for a while, so I have to see where that stuff is, so... Let's quickly go ahead here. We'll bounce over to Helos and decurse ourselves. How much Electrum have we got? 134k, not bad. Not bad. That'll be a good thing, I think, for, like I said, next time we pick up Imhotep, I want to go face off against Cerberus again. Got ourselves decanted of the curses, so we're not so susceptible to Cerberus's attacks. Let's go ahead here. We'll head to the east. Summer Palace. Excuse me, but it felt good. So, like I said, I would honestly love to be able to...
Alright, here's what I have in stock. Just be sure not to burn yourself, won't you?
I would love to be able to have a 4th season before TQ2 comes out. And so that is why I'm very much thinking about pressing when we finally get to it. Let's see here. Excuse me, but it felt good. Ooh. That one's not too bad for having a one of Dream Mastery. That one's not bad. Wish the armor on that one could be a little bit better, but that's part of the reason why I'm not going to buy it. Nice in its own way. All right.
Run along.
That's the plan.
Ah, my friend. You look weary. Can I take a burden from your shoulders? Safe roads, my friend.
All right. Dad just sent me something. All right. All right, let's go say hi to Cerberus. I may have just found a cheap and easy way to beat Cerberus with a more physical character. Sometimes it takes something just like this to do just that. Yeah, we'll hold on to where we are with our location.
Seek your destiny, young.
We were loyal servants of Hades until he sought to rule all of creation. These new generals must be formidable indeed to take our place. I do not know how you will stop Hades. I know only that you must stop him. You must join the heroes. I do not know how you will
The armies of the underworld still march on the living. Their claws and teeth are enough to rend flesh, but the arms they carry can tear through armor. There were always daemons, but those were foot servants, torturers, custodians. The old are armed for war and walk beside new daemons, fresh creations. The daemon army comes from the palace in ever-expanding hordes. They do not fear destruction, for they were fashioned. There were always daemons, but those were
Let's go ahead here. We'll, oh. Hello? Hello? Well, game crashed. Game crash. Well, it's good enough time as any to go ahead and end stream here. Or recording. So anyway, guys, I do appreciate everybody who has come out. If you're watching here on YouTube at youtube.com/JoseGeorgeGaming, please remember to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for notifications. It really does help. Make sure you also follow for all the more video goodness over on Twitch at twitch.tv/OsageOrange. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed the episode, of course. Hope to catch you guys tomorrow, Monday, and hopefully Thursday. Knock on wood. For another couple of episodes of Let's Play Valkyria Chronicles 4. We've got some stuff that we have to do before us, of course, in getting toe-to-toe with Lord Belgar of the Empire and all that jazz. And we also have got, for next Saturday, we will have another episode of City Building Saturdays in Pharaoh Cleopatra. Next Sunday will be a bookmarker episode of Let's Play. Get my series mixed up. Of next Sunday will be another episode, bookmarker episode of Titan Quest: The Loot Grind, to be followed a week from tomorrow, a week from Monday, another episode of Let's Play Titan Quest Season 3. So yeah, I do appreciate everybody who's come out, and I hope to catch you guys in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.